Hi everyone, I'm Soraya Rhea, and thanks for tuning in for my review of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 4, Episode 9. It's getting weary. Getting weary watching these people. All right, so what's going on? Well, let me just start by saying that Nicole and Azan, they got the cut again because ain't nothing going on in their story. Ain't nothing going on in their story, you know? They're not going on vacation together. I guess Nicole still has not gotten to Morocco. You know, I don't think Nicole ever started working to then start making money so that she'd be able to have somebody to go to Morocco, whatever. So they got the cut. They ain't made the cut. All right, so they're just not in this episode. All right, well, what's going on? Let's start with Colt and Larissa. Okay, so we find out a little bit more about what happened with Larissa's second arrest in the good old US of A. Colt described the fact that the police had kicked down the door. And he's, you know, going on about how dangerous the whole event was. And, you know, he says that he could have been shot. And Debbie says that he could have been killed. You know, and I'm just like, please. Come on, y'all. Please. What, you white. You fine. You know, I mean, yes, I'm surprised that you were cuffed at any point. But in the end, you were not charged. You were handcuffed. You were not even charged. And your wife was charged with domestic battery, you know? So your life was certainly safe. And then on top of that, can we talk about the fact that Colt turned off Larissa's phone? Like, I just need to understand that more. First of all, how do you do that? How does that work? I guess, do you have like a master phone? Or you're like the master line? Like, or can like you do that to each other? Like, I don't understand how that works. But you put her in an unsafe, you know, situation that made her feel unsafe, that, you know, caused the whole thing to happen, right? And with the police coming, you know, and again, I go back to, she was the one that locked herself into the bathroom. So can we talk about that a little bit? So I really don't understand how she got the domestic charge battery, you know, whatever. When Debbie came home, she also noticed that her bedroom screen was ripped. So I'm wondering, I'm like, was Larissa in Debbie's room at one point, like locked in Debbie's room at one point, like trying to get out? Or did she just like do that in rage afterwards? Like she just went around slashing stuff, you know? I don't know. Then one thing that Colt says was, I guess when him and Larissa sit down and start talking, and actually I forgot to actually go back and rewatch this segment because I think I missed part of it. But he says that, you know, they just need to keep it cool. They just need to keep it cool, you know. And Debbie shares, I think in her interview, that she just is just so upset at who he has become because of Larissa, which I don't know in what way has Colt changed? Like, you know, maybe yes, this is the first time perhaps that the police has knocked down your door. So understood that. But, you know, did Larissa cause him to turn off her data? Okay. Now again, so I'm trying to remember like the conversation between Colt and Larissa, but I believe at some point she basically, I mean, she forgives him. You know, she, you know, forgives and allows them to, I guess, talks about moving on or something like that. Whatever. I don't know. I guess the fact that I even forgot to go back and rewatch this segment shows that, like, I guess I don't care that much. You know, again, I guess also because we know that, like, they're not together anymore. They have gotten divorced or at least have filed for divorce or whatever. So, but seeing the breakdown on the show, crazy. Moving on. Ross y Pau. All right, so Pau, again, is on 90 Day Fiancé like she should be on The Baby Story, but I will say this, she delivers her baby like a boss. At home. And you know what was really nice? I mean, this was probably one of those situations where, like, if you want to have a home birth, like, this is what it can look like, and this is probably the best case scenario. You know, they had the whole ambiance going, you know, candles lit, and obviously they had the pool for her, they had the bed set up, you know, they had just really nice, I guess, music going, and of course the midwife slash doula, I don't remember, but you know, is there just speaking just mildly and calmly, like, it's okay, you know, and just keeping it just really calm and whatever. You know, and of course Pao is she's going through labor. She is contracting, she is in a lot of pain, but again, she is holding it down. Pao's mom, she's kind of like off to the side. I actually thought maybe she'd be a little bit closer at times, you know, maybe like coaching her and holding her hand, whatever, but she was kind of more off to the side, you know, which I guess worked for them. And she's probably just nervous the whole time and worried, like, oh, I can't believe this is happening at home. But I guess it was good that the whole thing went as smoothly as it did, because it's showing her, like, yes, this is how a home birth can work. So anyway, but and also Russ helped literally deliver the baby, like bringing the baby out of Pao. And I mean it was straight up like like it was for real like that. Like, and I just think it's a beautiful memory that they have. You don't forget it, you know. I'm actually really happy for them. So, and I'm sure the Pao would not have it any other way, you know. And their son's name is Axel, like the part of a car. So anyway, but they're happy, you know, so really cute. Oh, and I think they showed, I'm just not happy, but the previews for next week showed that what's his name, her best friend from Colombia, is back on the scene and saying just foolishness, like, you know, like, Pao, just because you married him and had his baby doesn't mean that you can't divorce him. Like, you know, he's just trying to stir up. What is his name? Oh gosh, why am I forgetting his name? Put it in the comments. What's Pao's best friend's name? Dang, Juan. Is Juan, right? Yeah. Super predictable. So it's just, you know, I don't know. Is Juan trying to get on like a telenovela? Like, because he is just being the most dramatic friend. Moving on, Andre and Libby. So what's going on with them is Andre's dad is coming to Florida for the birth of their baby, which I think is like nice. Like, so now this is the parent or father of the dad who's coming from abroad for the birth of the baby, because obviously a lot of times it will be the mom that will always come to the mother of the mom who will come for the birth. But I just think it's sweet. And Andre apparently is really close with his dad, and so he's really excited. So we're like, okay, cool, let's, you know, what's gonna happen? Well, what happens is that he shares that his dad really doesn't have flying experience, and he's really nervous about him, very anxious, and unfortunately he's like on a 3 or 4 leg trip. I guess it's maybe the second flight that he was, because I think he was stuck in Istanbul, I think. That the flight from there to New York, I believe, was delayed or canceled or something, which then caused him to then miss the following connecting flights. So then, so Andre is like really like nervous and all of that. And, you know, which I can understand, it's like for someone who's like first time flying, either in a really long time or just first time flying, you know, and then he's older, of course, to navigate everything. And, you know, I guess he, you know, doesn't, language wise, there's probably language barriers and whatnot. And so he, so Andre is really worried. And so he decides to book a flight to New York to meet his dad for the last leg of the trip from New York to Florida, which I think is really sweet and nice and, you know, considerate. So then him and Libby almost kind of get into a fight. They try to make an issue about like the money. Like, should they ask Libby's dad for money, and Andre's like, no, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if y'all ask the dad for money for the ticket or for your future bills. You know, Libby's dad is still helping y'all out. They tried to make like an issue of it. Like that was like their fight for the episode. Whatever. Moving on. But Andre met his dad in New York. His dad is really happy. And then they fly back to Florida together. And, you know, and it's just really sweet. Because, you know, they haven't seen each other in over a year. So Andre's dad seems like a nice, normal, sensible guy. Calm. And like at one point, so they decide to him and Libby decide to take, Andre and Libby decide to take Andre's dad to like a classic American diner for like classic American food, burgers and fries and all of that. And I realized, I'm like, is that like, when you bring someone to America, like to be like, oh, you want some like really cool American food, and then you give them that. I guess I would probably take him to like, there's nothing wrong with like saying that burgers and fries are, you know, like American food, but I would probably take him to like a more upscale place that then has burgers and fries and stuff to like give them like a nicer burger and fries. Shout out, y'all, to Hip City Veg, okay? I've been to the Hip City Veg in Philadelphia several times. Most recently, oh my gosh, like everything it's a vegan place, y'all. It is so good. I wish they had one here in New York, but they don't. And but they also have them in DC too. Y'all, if you were in Philly or DC, go do yourselves a favor and go to Hip City Veg. Woo! It does not matter if you're not vegan. It is delicious. Their sweet potato fries are so good. Oh my gosh. And their sriracha aioli. And I mean, everything that they have there. Like everything. I mean, just, oh geez. I had the last time I had the vegan chili Philly cheesesteak. My mouth is watering. I want some right now. Ooh. Commercial. Anyway, so they're talking to their dad about, well, Andre is talking to his dad about the conflicts that he's having with Libby's family. And I feel like Andre's dad is looking at him like, oh, my dear son, whom I love, is still the same crazy person that he's been. And now this beautiful pregnant woman has to deal with him. I really feel like that was his thought bubble. Like if they can make it as a little, you know, thought bubble, that's what would have been saying, you know. I mean, so at one point he even says, you could tell that Andre is like, yeah, dad, right? Like he's trying to get his dad to like agree with him. And like his dad just looks almost sleepy-eyed. And he's like, well, you know, like you have to make sure that you don't overreact and that you respond calmly and, you know, essentially keep the peace. Because this is her family. This is family. You don't want conflict with family. Wise words, Sir Andre's dad. And Andre looked a little defeated or deflated that his dad didn't jump up and be like, yup, yeah, oh, what? Who these people? What? And her dad, what? Like, you know, so his dad, I think, will be a nice addition to just the birth experience between him and Libby. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing when his dad gets to meet Libby's family, because I think that they will be pleasantly surprised that he is very different from Andre. And I would imagine that he's probably going to get along with them well, especially Libby's dad, provided that Andre translates for them appropriately. Yeah. Moving on. Chantel y Pedro. Okay. So, remember, Pedro left his hot wife in the hotel room to go stay at his mama house. So he comes back to the hotel the next morning to make sure that his wife was okay, because she is his wife. Okay, so then why'd you leave her though? Why'd you leave her? But I'm thinking like he's gonna come back and stay with her, whatever. And despite Chantel actually begging him to stay and don't go back to his mom's house and just stay so they could just hang out with each other, go to the beach together, whatever. Homeboy says no. Because he says, no, this is why I came to the DR, to spend time with my family. So like, whatever. And I'm like, bye, Pedro. Goodbye. Like, I can't with you right now. Anyway, so then he leaves. I swore that he was going to say yes. For real, for real. Like, I was like, there's no way that he's going to say no now. Homeboy said no. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so then afterwards, Chantel meets her friend Obed. And first of all, Chantel looks like super cute. First of all, I just think Chantel, like, her body, like, it just, girl, just do it, okay? And she's wearing these like lavender pants with heels and like this white top. I mean, she just looks, Chantel is always throwing it down with the outfits, for real, for real. Now, I mean, in her interviews, her cleavage was just, it was just so there, you know. It was a little too much, but she just always really does look cute, I will have to say. She meets with Obed. She talks to Obed, and Obed is like upset, like trying to tell her bad news. Chantel, you need to know the truth about this family. Apparently, Obed says that he believes, or he knows, that Pedro's family, his mom and sister, set him up to marry an American so that he could then get to America, get a green card, and then harvest that American dollar. At one point, he does say that he does not think that Pedro knew about this, but he just said that one line one time. But otherwise, he kind of alludes to the fact that like they're all scamming, they all know, they all whatever. But he did say that one line one time. And so essentially, it's like so he's trying to make it seem like the mom and the sister kind of got him set up like to meet this American, such as Chantel, and you know, get with her, then marry, then whatever, you know, almost using him like a puppet. But he didn't know, but then now maybe he knows or whatever. And now that he's got his papers, he got his green card, he's got whatever, now they're trying to break him up. So I guess Pedro's mom and sister set him up to be married, and yeah, now they're happy that he's married, that he got his green card. Now, I don't know if it was always, Obed doesn't say whether it was always their plan to always break him up, like they were never intending him to actually stay married to said American, but you know, but now they're trying to do that. And maybe it's because they really don't like Chantel or whatever. Anyway, so Chantel is just like taking it all in, like what? Oh, also, it was a friend of Chantel who then knew Pedro apparently, that then put them in touch with each other to start Spanish lessons, because this friend that Chantel had knew that Chantel wanted to learn Spanish. And this whole time I'm thinking that Chantel was learning Spanish through some legit online company, and that Pedro had like a legit job. I didn't realize this was like friend, like, oh, Skype, whatever. I'm thinking that this is like a job, like, you know, learn a language through this language company. I did not realize none of this. Like, this is so stupid. Anyway, and then Obed said something about like he's also experiencing the same thing from Pedro's family. They're trying to break up his relationship. There's no explanation after that. Like, there's no explanation about you know, who he's in a relationship with. Is he in a relationship with an American too, or what? I don't know. Anyway, okay, then what happens? So then Chantel has a scripted Skype conversation with her parents. Of course, she, you know, greets them, and they're just like, so how are things, Chantel? And she's like, not so well. And she's like, she learned that something happened at the start of her and Pedro's relationship. Something not so great. And something not quite right. And of course, surprise, surprise, Karen guesses, was it that they found a stupid American to marry and scam? And again, every time like she says that, it's like, but wait, hold up though. But your daughter did marry him though. Like, they are together. So every time you say stupid American, I mean, are you calling yourself stupid then? So, then once they start going on like that, then suddenly Chantel's like, I'm not talking about this. I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm not talking about this. So again, why'd you bring it up though? Why'd you bring it up? You know, so it's just, the whole thing was just so scripted, so stupid. And then they start talking about like, oh, you know what, you could use the private investigator, but Chantel wants to hear nothing of it. She's just not even going to say anything until she finds out more, until she talks to Pedro, and then she'll, you know, share things as she feels more comfortable, perhaps when she gets back to Atlanta. And, you know, at one point, Karen tries to coin a phrase, right? And it doesn't work, okay? It falls flat. Karen is like, jealous people are but wishers. And what do they wish? They wish they were you. Really though? And like, then Karen basically says that Pedro's mom, Lydia I think her name is, Pedro's mom wants to be her. And then Chantel's dad is like, well, you know, Chantel, Nicole probably wants to be you because she really likes your life. You know, like, and I'm like, come on. Y'all, like, oh, please. Anyway, so that's what's going on with them. You know, I'm upset. Like, I really hope this is just for TV, and I really don't understand because y'all ain't making bank. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, moving on lastly to Jay and Ashley, which I kind of don't even want to talk about them because their thing is, I think, staged as well. So Ashley decides to go to the barbershop where Jay would go and hang out, and apparently he was also doing some part-time work, doing some tattoos, which I don't know how that worked, like, because his paperwork didn't go through yet. So like, how is he like working unless it's like under the table working, whatever. Anyway, so Ashley wants to know, like, do they know anything else about Jay and his, like, you know, private life and that he's keeping from her and his lies. So the two bad actors, the owner of the barbershop and then that other guy, they try to act like, you know, they don't want to say nothing. They don't want to say nothing. But then they finally like, all right, I don't want to say nothing, but, you know, apparently they said that one day Jay had sex with a customer that he was doing a tattoo on in the barbershop bathroom. And it was while customers were there and they were making noise, so everybody knew. And then the barbershop owner shows his phone to Ashley, where he shows her a clip of, how convenient, of their security camera that I guess points outside of the barbershop in the back. And it shows him about to like rough Jay up. Why? Because that was him confronting Jay about the fact that, yo, he can't be doing that. Like, this is a business. Like, you can't be just going on wild out and, you know, having sex in his bathroom or whatever during the day or whatever, you know. And I mean, of course, there's no dialogue or whatever, but, you know, that was his evidence. Like, this is why I was roughing him up. Again, how convenient that you just happened to take him outside, rough him up right in shot of your camera. You know, at this point, I was just like, stage. And then also, some months ago, didn't Ashley and Jay claim that Ashley's friend, who she must have kicked out of the wedding, was trying to do something to them through some account, harass them, but then Jay accidentally went live on this account, which showed that they were behind that account? Didn't that happen some months ago? Like, so it already showed that they were not like telling the truth with some of the things that they were claiming. So, you know, anyway, so after the barbershop owner tells this to Ashley, she runs out crying, so upset, and, you know, swearing off, like, he's done, he's gone, I'm sending him back to Jamaica. Like, you know, she calls him and asks him about it, screaming, hollering, and he keeps hanging up on her. And then finally he calls back and says, everything you heard is true. It happened, and I'm sorry, or whatever. And she tells him, don't come back to the house. Like, what are you gonna do? Do you want your clothes or what? He's like, I want my clothes. And she's like, all right, they'll be out on the front stoop for you. You're not even coming back into the house, whatever. So then she's with her friends, just moaning and crying and just wailing. And, you know, he's like, I gave him everything. And it still wasn't good enough. What? you know, I don't know. I'm not even really gonna address it because I actually don't think it's real. Now, if it was real, that means that Jay should be back in Jamaica, right? Like she was sending him back, and because his paperwork wasn't filed, so that means that he was presently illegal in the country, right? So after all these months, like Jay must be back in Jamaica, right? Again, I don't know those spoilers, so I don't know. I mean, let me know. I mean, I'm trying to find out now. So if y'all know the dish, the tea, write it in the comments. Let me know. Whatever. I don't get it. Again, y'all are not making bank. Why do this to yourself? Why make yourself look like idiots on national television? You know, unless you really want like just to continue a reality TV life, I guess, going from show to show. You know, or is it just that you want a really large social media following? Is that what's worth it? I just don't get it. You know, even from Ashley's standpoint, like she has children. I really don't get it. So anyway, I don't know. Was this episode like just like womp womp? Are we just like meh, 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 like are we just coming down off of like, you know, any kind of high from this season of Happily Ever After? I guess the only couple that I really kind of care about is Pedro y Chantel, you know? I mean, even Nicole and Azan, like I don't even really feel like anything's gonna happen with them. So, you know, I just kind of want to know like what's the deal? What is real with Pedro and Chantel, you know? So anyway, like this video, guys, if you liked what you saw. Comment below with anything. Are we just kind of all like, are we done? You know, let me know. And then subscribe so you know when I'm uploading my next video. Now, just so that you know, unless you're only watching this, you know that I also reviewed 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way, and then also Married at First Sight, which is in the beginnings of their season, their new season. So I'm super, super excited about that. So please, please, please watch those videos and let me know what you think about that series. All right, guys, and I will catch you later. Bye.